We just didn't know if we were even the most remote chance of catching this thing. It was an absolute beast of a fish, and all we could really do was just kind of follow it around and hope for the best. We're into 12 metres here now.
Probably a banger.
Here for a second.
Could be a banger. I saw it just very briefly,
Could be a banger.
just big brown shape. Could be a banger. Yeah, it's going a bit hard for a wrasse. Took a lot of line.
It's all right, got a good angle on him. Some size, this thing.
It is pretty solid.
Big, long, slow sort of tail beats.
Yeah.
And I was hoping that whatever it is was going to get broken off by some sharp reef.
This week on the AFN Fishing Show, cameraman Dave Quarrell can't stop talking about his 40-kilo GT. So Nige attempts to teach him a lesson by going out and catching a bigger one. Joined by Nomad Sport Fishing's Damon Olsen, can he catch one that's over the mark, or will Dave get the last laugh?
Several years ago, I had the opportunity to fish up in the Torres Straits. I hooked up to this absolute beast, and I saw the ocean disappear before my very eyes as this GT came out of the depths and just destroyed my popper.
Wide, David, wide, don't stop.
After some very encouraging words of advice from Mr. Trotter.
This is a big fish, David. Big fish. Is it going to hurt like having a baby?
I was able to land the fish, and it went on to record 40 kilos. I've shown Nigel these pictures on numerous occasions, especially after he catches his smaller 30 and 25 kilo GTs, and I think the Rockstar had had enough of his roadie with his #1 hit song, and he'd decided, I'm going to end this once and for all. So he devised a plan to shut Dave up.
Today we're fishing with Damon Olsen, the proprietor of Nomad Sport Fishing, who's responsible for bringing so many anglers out to these most remote fishing areas. And as always, we're dictated by the weather, Damon.
We are. We've got a little bit of wind today, so we finally got to Ashmore, long overnight steam. We've got a couple of days where we can have a little fish around here, so we'll probably stick on the inside of the reef today and see what we can find up in the shallows, try and do a bit of GT popping and see what happens, but it's good to be here.
And I do have one problem.
Yeah.
There's one member of our camera crew named Dave, tinniest fisherman in Australia. He had 5 casts last year in GT waters and he landed a 40 kilo model. He has reminded me ever since that he has a bigger GT than me. So today, it's called Mission Shut Dave Up.
I was cautiously optimistic, shall we say, but after I'd spent the morning with Dave, I was really, really keen to get that 40 kilo fish and just keep him quiet. There was some extra motivation by lunch, put it that way.
And that.
Oh, fish, come on, eat it!
Oh, look at them!
Oh, it's the whole pack of them!
Oh.
Look at that!
Oh.
That is insane! There's about 100 GTs there! Check this out! This is mental! Oh,
Pretty
dear.
cool when you see 50 odd fish fighting over your lure, Damon.
That was nuts. I reckon there was at least 10 different fish actually ate that.
Try to eat it.
They were ripping the hooks out of the other fish's mouth. That was crazy. That was well worth seeing.
Oh yes, big boy.
Wow.
There you go. Look at the shark. There's a big shark, dude. Ooh, that was a big shark coming at it.
That was.
Oh.
Ooh.
Come on.
Got him, nice. Beautiful. Woo. That's awesome. Double hook up, fantastic.
Oh, it's been assaulted by a bully pack, Damon.
That was pretty cool, wasn't it? There must have been 50 or 100 fish in there. It was just mental.
They look like they're a rat pack. They're just learning this game of bullying things. They're going to get a whole lot bigger.
Exactly. They were getting some good practice in there. They had at least 10 goes of hitting my lure, so yeah, that was pretty good fun, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You got that one. That first one I think excited them, and then the whole pack just came and attacked.
If you're coming to remote areas to fish and potentially play with big predators, you want to come prepared. We've got a range of different lure options in the tackle box, from our plastics to our metal jigs. At the moment we're spending a lot of time throwing around the hard bodies, the surface cup-faced and stick bait style poppers, and then our sinking stick baits as well. But you really want to make sure that everything from line right through to the pointy end of proceedings in your hook stands up to the test that these fish are going to put on it. And to that you want to think about the type of split rings and hooks that you bring with you. Head to the tackle store and you want to look for split rings that'll handle a rating of anything from 100 to 150 pound plus. For some of these big guys, we're using 250 pound plus rating split rings. Then it comes to your hooks. On Nomad, we use single hooks. This hook I couldn't resist bringing with me when I saw it in the tackle store. It's called the kaiju. When I looked at the English definition, it means monster or big monster. Well, I couldn't go past bringing some of these with me. I've got a mate of mine, and one of his sayings is when things aren't going your way and you can't catch what you want to catch, sometimes just go and try something completely different, have a bit of fun, chase whatever else you can catch, and you'd be surprised what type of action you generate. So what we're going to do is go up into the shallows, find a blue hole or big lagoon-style depression in the reef. In the meantime, maybe get our floaties ready, Damon, because Dave could have the last laugh. As horrible as that is to think about. We started the day fishing on the outer edge of Ashmore, which is typically where your big GTs hold, and that was definitely our target for the day. One problem was it was a good 25 knots of wind, very rough just to sit at the front of the boat and cast. So of course Dave started complaining that the boat was way too bouncy for him to get the right shot. Eventually we had to succumb to his incessant complaining and moved inside to the calm waters of the blue water hole.
So I think going to these remote locations as a guide for me, it's about the unpredictability of what are we going to see out there. You know, there's massive fish live in these places. They've never seen lures before. You know, there's GTs up on the flats, there's coral trout. You just don't know. Am I going to hook a 100-kilo yellowfin when I'm casting in under that school of birds? It's just I guess it's the excitement of the unknown and just knowing that you're in an area where really anything could happen on any given day, and it's just the thrill of exploration, I guess. So we moved into the shallows and we'd kind of forgotten about the challenge and big GTs and all that sort of stuff. We're having so much fun catching these trout and red bass and all sorts of species in the shallows. There's a red bass coming smashing stuff off the surface. We're just having a ball.
Very trouty. Oh, he's going to come out, you know. Oh no, it's a shark ate my fish. Shark's got whatever had it to start with. Look, he's got the whole fish in there.
He's got a coral cod in his mouth, look at that. We were catching heaps of fish, forgotten about the GTs, and then we went around this point and Nigel's just cast in over this bommy. I've just seen this massive shape just eat the lure. We couldn't see what it was a bit late in the afternoon, and we thought maybe it's a big wrasse, but it's charged out into the middle, and we just didn't know if we were even the most remote chance of catching this thing. It was an absolute beast of a fish, and all we could really do was just kind of follow it around and hope for the best. We're into 12 metres here now.
Probably
just
a banger.
sit here for a second.
Could be a banger. I saw it just very briefly.
Could be a banger?
Just big brown shape. Could be a banger. Yeah, it's going a bit hard for a wrasse. Took a lot of line.
It's all right. Got a good angle on him. Some size, this thing.
It is pretty solid.
Big, long, slow sort of tail beats.
Yeah.
And I was hoping that whatever it is was going to get broken off by some sharp reef.
We're getting a little bit close to that edge.
Yeah, I'll back us up a bit here. Try and keep him away from that one.
I think we're doing the right thing. This is your only chances to keep him out here. The other option we might have to do, if he keeps going that way, is go to that bommy and go to the other side. We'll drive him up that channel.
Yeah, do you
See
want
what I'm saying? Go straight over the bommy, and we'll try and lead him out that way.
He has got a lot of line out there, hasn't he?
He's got a bucket load of line out. I just drive that way, see what happens. Just go slow, and I'll just see if line pressure can take him over there. Yeah, I'd actually go,
you want to go
that
more
way.
I'm just worried that, oh yeah, that bommy.
Because now he's going back for the edge now.
So we're fishing in the shallows with this really light gear. We're just using 10-kilo rods, and you haven't really got a lot of power with these big fish. All you can do is just kind of follow them around, try and keep the line away from the coral, and just hope for the best.
I reckon put it in forward and just go straight across.
Yeah.
We might have to drive him over that next bommy. Yeah, sweet. It's interesting how they follow line pressure though, isn't it? Just consistent line pressure. As long as there's no panicky rod work, they'll just start to gently lead that way after a while.
Just slowly come with you.
Panicking. You just got to have the real estate to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Generally when you GT fish, you don't always get that option.
No, we're lucky. Got lucky at the start there and pulled him out of the reef. Now we're in the open, we just need a bit more luck.
Yeah, I'm starting to think it's bigger than a 20.
I'm starting to think it's quite a bit bigger than 20. We were on this thing for so long, we really didn't know what it was, and it was such a big fish, and then to see it down deep and realise, oh wow, this thing is absolutely enormous, and Nige somehow caught this thing on this little 10-kilo rod. It was just incredible. It was a pretty good feeling to see that thing at the side of the boat.
There he is. Got a bit of colour there, Damon.
Okay.
Yeah, bit of colour. Starting to show up.
Holy dooly.
Is that a big one?
That's a proper one. That's 40. Oh my God. Oh. That is an absolute beast.
Is that 40 kilos, Damon?
That's probably about 45, I reckon.
Well,
So when we sort of lifted over the side of the boat and slid him in, it was just so satisfying. And you know, we both gave Dave a real sly look. we knew what was going on with Dave then, but just the satisfaction of landing that fish on really light gear in such tough country, it was just really impressive all around, you know.
oh, you promised me there were some big critters at Ashmore.
Oh yeah.
We had to come to get Big Bad Dave, the camera guy, off our backs.
Absolutely.
Chirping about his 40 kegger. Well, I think we might have done him.
I think you've beaten the 40 kilo mark here. This one's pretty serious fish, mate. That's that's impressive. And on the light gear,
Not quite the way we planned. We thought we'd just go in the shallows, test some of Damon's new prototypes.
mate, you're in 3 meters of water. Like, I cannot believe we actually landed him in 3 meters of water. That is just incredible, isn't it, eh?
How good is this place?
That's awesome. All right, let's get him home, eh?
First of all, they didn't actually weigh it properly. They just said, yeah, that's 45 kilos, which I'm a little bit hesitant to accept as a fair sport. I will take that as a loss. However, I will add this final footnote to that piece. It took me 5 minutes to hook onto my GT and it took half a day for Nigel. So I beat him there.
The one aspect I had in my favour, yeah, it took Dave 5 casts to catch his big GT, but mine on super light gear is going to out-trump his 5 casts any day of the week.
So after the Rock Singer produced a #1 hit single and knocked the roadie off the charts, I thought I'd set a double or nothing challenge to Mr. Webster, which was to catch a wrasse the next day. And so Nigel gleefully took up that challenge.
We thought, hey, we're in the right area. We didn't tell Dave this, of course, but said, hey, we're in the right area for Maori wrasse. This hardline edge is really good for wrasse. So it was on day 2. We were out there trying to get a wrasse on the hardline. Feels like it's sort of fighting like a coral trout, maybe. Well, he's a bit foul hooked, but
That's a nice trout, Damon.
beautiful coral trout. We're just trolling across the shallow stuff here, looking for a spot to start casting, and this guy just nailed the stick bait. So it's only sort of 5-6 meters deep. So absolutely love big lures, these fish. Oh no, it's a Maori sea perch. Oh, look at him. Oh, big bass. This little red bass just smashed that popper on the surface. The wind's getting up a bit here today. We're just having a bit of a drift around in the shallows. It's just awesome fun. This, 2 meters of water, you got trout, red bass, Maori sea perch, all sorts of stuff just fighting over your lures, hitting them at the side of the boat. Just awesome fun.
Oh, shark on it too. Oh, get off.
Do you want to hold the rod and I'll try and have a go at de-hooking him, or?
Yeah, it's cool. Oh, look at them. Sharks everywhere. They're cranky. The type of lure these days, which is winning more and more friends every day, is the humble stick bait, and it's so good because it's so versatile, and the shape of the lure tells you a whole lot about how to work them. They're very much a pencil style. They've got this beautiful chin which will hold and make the lure dart side to side, and they also tend to hang with a bit of a tail down action. But what they really imitate is a bait fish which is fleeing across the top, and when it pauses, one that's sitting still trying to evade predator coming along and having it for breakfast, lunch or dinner. Look at a really easy way to use these lighter style stick baits, and you can use these whether you're fishing for tailor and salmon off the rocks, out here in the tropics, is to cast it to where you think fish are holding, and then keep your rod tip up high for a while. Slowly wind the reel, just jig the rod side to side, and what that will do is kick the lure in a zigzag style motion back towards you, and then as you come closer, that's where you can start pausing the lure a bit more and just darting that rod tip towards the water. And what you'll find is it gets more of a blooping style action, and that way you're giving the fish a choice whether they like that zigzag style looking like a bait fish is fleeing, or they can get that popping style action you put later on into the retrieve. And if you fish all your likely looking water with something like that, you can cast and retrieve it all day, and you'll tempt fish no matter where you choose to fish them.
Oh, big fish! Big GT just came in. I don't know if it was a big one that ate it, but
There's a big
a whole
bump.
pack of them there. Whole pack of GTs just came up on that one.
Nice. Nice work.
There's another one down there with him.
The other one's there, is he?
Yeah. Beautiful GT. This is the best one we've seen so far this morning. The whole pack of them came up there. We've really started to have some good action the last sort of half hour or so. We'll get this guy back in the water and see what else we can find.
Casting distance and accuracy is such a big part of catching more fish, not just here but anywhere, but particularly when you're using big gear, getting those casts precisely in the right spot will tempt so many more fish. And to do that, a little bit of technique will help you no end. Firstly, be balanced. Preferably find a place in the boat where you can stick your thigh into and give yourself a bit of balance, and feet shoulder width apart, brace for swell, and then keep your dominant hand just above the reel, non-dominant hand on the bottom. Don't choke the line, just trap it slightly in your forefinger. Keep your elbows in, look at where you're going to cast, and then on a 45-degree angle, let that lure go. Watch it in the air. As it hits the water, start the retrieve. So important. Watch the lure in the air. You'd be amazed how many of these fish watch your lure in the air. We know scientifically now that a lot of fish will follow prey in the air, and as it enters the water, they eat it. GTs and the like are just the same, so get that lure working the moment it hits the deck. GT. What do you want me to do? You want me to do anything? He's just smoked it. Lots of grunting going on. Come here. Oh, yeah. He's doing circles. Okay, I fell for the red thing. You got me. Let me go now. Yes, joke's on me, I get it.
Oh, look at this coming in on mine.
Oh, what is it?
Wrasse.
It's a wrasse. You got him, David. Oh. Might go again, David. It's a wrasse. You got him, David. Oh. It's probably going, what just happened there? Oh, no, spooked. Come back. Oh, oh!
Oh, beautiful.
It's a wrasse.
It's a wrasse. Sorry, Dave. Might not be a very big one, but we got a wrasse. So, yeah, sorry, mate. Beautiful little wrasse, this guy. They're such a challenge to catch these. They get quite large and they live in really, really shallow coral. So this guy just came off an edge, it's like a metre deep, drops down to 20 metres, and they live in the nastiest country, and they are the hardest fighting fish on the reef, I think. They just do not give up. You can get them under the boat, they'll look at you, then just bury you in the reef. They know every little crevice and every little hole, and they've got no problem just going straight into the reef.
Dave left a massive loophole in his challenge, one that I think he'll think about after this and hopefully learn from. He didn't specify size to the wrasse we had to catch. There's one thing against you when you catch big wrasse, is that they are so hard to get away from reef. The best thing we possibly could have done was hook the small one. And so ends 2 days of amazing fishing, hundreds of kilometres of exploration of the Great Barrier Reef. Lost count of the species, GTs, wrasse, red bass, and a myriad of other reef species.
There's a lot of fish we caught. That big GT was pretty special.
Well and truly worn out, ready for the drive home.
Yeah.
And the plane home.
Yes.
The bad news is though for Dave, poor Dave, he's gone down 2-0. So
yeah,
I think it's time for us to maybe kick back with a beer on the top deck.
Sounds good to me.
Watch him do a little bit of laundry, and
Should we throw him in or let him jump?
oh, we'll give him the choice. Sorry, Dave. There's a hush over the crowd.
I thought I'd just add a little bit of a twist of lemon to that jump.
We're all waiting.
That's probably the one thing that's unfortunately burned into my brain, and probably never going to forget that.
Dave's a lot like an annoying Jack in the Box. He just rabbits away with his own little fantasy stories and challenges which he manages to come up with. And as hard as you can put him back in that box and nail down the lid, he just keeps popping up. And now he started on about some big trout that he's caught a while back, 12, 15 kilos, it grows all the time. I've got to say, this time you gave us 2 fish, we knocked it off. And yes, Dave, we'll go back to the water and we'll put you back in your box once again.
Look at this room. I came in here, it was neat, and Nigel's made it a mess.
Go away, David.
Are you thinking of fish?
I'm thinking, you must go away. Go away.
This is reality TV. This is what it's like, 24/7.
Oh, go
In the
away.
life of Nigel Wedger,
Oh, go away.
fisherman extraordinaire.
You shouldn't be on my bed. You and I should never be in the same bed. I want you to die.
Nigel.
It's Bill Klassen here from The Fishing Show, and if you like this instructional video and want to learn more, it's simple. Go to fishingshowtv.com.au and see a whole host of additional videos.